it's a major point of reference in contemporary Christianity, particularly Protestant forms of Christianity. That to be truly Christian is to undergo or experience some kind of persecution. It's a huge theme, it's a recurring motif in a lot of New Testament texts. Jesus is supposed to have, made reference, you will be persecuted for believing in me. You've got all sorts of stories and traditions in texts like the Book of Acts, a lot of the Pauline letters. There's a sense in which Christians in the West, and I'm being quite careful about saying the West here, the West have tended to argue that they're being persecuted. So, for example, the court cases last year that went to the European Court of Human Rights, whereby a woman who was working for British Airways tried to say that she had been persecuted for her beliefs by her employer because she wasn't allowed to wear a crucifix, as part of her uniform for British Airways. They use the language of persecution quite often to describe a feeling of being threatened, of somehow their religious privileges, their religious rights aren't being regarded in the same kind of concrete ways they used to be. Eric Pickles has just been made Minister of Faith to replace Baroness Wolsey. And if you recall, he's made it quite clear several times on things like Question Time. He refers to militant atheists, like we're all kind of strapping up with guns and bombs and going out. Militant atheists who are apt to persecute Christians, who don't respect Christian faith and Christian beliefs and practices. Those Christians aren't being persecuted. Christians are being persecuted in Iraq at the moment. Christians are being persecuted in Egypt, for example. That's real persecution. And there are Muslims being persecuted all over the world too. But Christians in the West quite often have a sense that somehow, because of the increased emphasis on secularism, which is different from atheism, because of the increased emphasis on secularism in the West, of which I'm a firm supporter, there's somehow a sense that what used to be a given, that certain Christian privileges would be honoured, respected, ring-fenced, that's no longer the case. And they're crying persecution because it's a part of their identity, it's a part of Christian identity to be persecuted, to be thrown to the lions like Daniel in the den, or like in the Roman period. There's this sense somehow that you're not a real Christian unless you're suffering. Look at the example of Jesus. But it's bollocks. They're real Christians. I'm sorry about my language. My mum will slap me. There's a real sense somehow that they don't understand how privileged they are in the West. Christianity has been privileged in the West for 2,000 odd years. There are people that really are being persecuted and suffering in the world, not just for their religion, but for their sexuality, for their gender, their ethnicity. Tone it down, Christians.